The Face the Facts Reduce Teen Pregnancy Coalition aims to reduce teen births by 50% by 2020.
We were inspired to make this film because we want all young women to reach their full potential without facing the challenges of their teen motherhood.
In this film, you will hear real stories from teen moms and daughters of teen moms.
We hope that when young people hear these stories, they will take charge of their own lives and their decisions.
I was 15 years old.
I was 15 years old when I became pregnant, almost about to be 16 years old.
I was 18, a senior in high school.
I grew up in an impoverished home, and there were, a lot of mental illness, addiction, violence, and just uncertainties within my home and my neighborhood. And so I was already at a very vulnerable place, my whole family. And so I was really an easy target for this man. People heard the whole story, they would say, you were raped. You were 15, he was 27. But for me, as a young girl, I carried so much shame and guilt and blamed myself that it's taken me a long time to sort of know how to answer that question.
Father of my child was my first boyfriend, and that's what he wanted to do, was have a baby. So then I wanted to have a baby, so then we had a baby. But I was a little confused because I didn't really want to be with the father of my child, so I didn't really know what to do.
Looking back now, I feel like I was looking for attention and not feeling a part of the world around me, and was kind of feeling isolated. And I think that caused me to gravitate to someone who paid attention to me, and it just kind of led down a bad path.
I was afraid. I was full of fear, definitely.
I was really scared, and I spent a lot of time by myself trying to think things through.
It affected my life in every possible way. The hardest thing was the finances. I think trying to get myself and her out of poverty was the biggest challenge.
I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do as much as I would want to do, like going to prom and going out to like high school parties and stuff like that. When I had my daughter, I missed a lot of school because she was really sick. So I was out of school a lot and my grades started dropping. And then I worked and I missed a lot of work because she was sick. I can't really go out. And because she was sick, I had no babysitters, so I really couldn't go out because I had no one to watch her. And she cries a lot, so I don't get to sleep. And it's just everything changed a lot when I had her. She was diagnosed with supraventricular tachycardia because when I envisioned having my daughter, I pictured bringing her home when she was 2 days old and putting her in cute newborn clothes and cuddling with her, and then she was sick, so she was not at my house and I couldn't hold her as much as I wanted to.
Girls nowadays just want to get pregnant because they see girls walking around with a belly and they think it's wicked easy, like you just dress them up and cuddle with them and play with them, like it's all just fun. But they don't realize like they do get older, they don't stay little forever. So he was constantly crying all the time. He was constantly up, like he never slept. So I never got no sleep like the first a month and a half of him being here in life. He was just always crying and always needed me. And I would want my space and just to go to sleep and just to get away for a little while, and I wasn't allowed to. Like, it was my responsibility, so I had to stay there and take care of him and be there for him because that's what he expected me to do. And it just wasn't easy. Like, colic babies is not easy. It's not easy at all having kids. It's not just dressing them up and playing with them. Like, they do get older, they do get teeth, they start teething, they start crying, they start running around, getting into everything as they get older. I basically was just lost for a long time, just being a mom but living in poverty. I was on welfare and food stamps and all of those things just to try to support us and get us by. Something drastically different if I was going to get us out of this situation and sort of break this cycle of poverty. And so I just started working and working and working. Without an education, I wasn't going to go anywhere. And I knew that I was pretty much powerless without an education.
Throughout the pregnancy, it wasn't a very calming or soothing environment, and I think the baby feels that inwardly. And then also it was, financial burdens. I didn't even have my license or car or anything, so again, I was isolated in a different way. I was now married with an infant and had to rely on other people to just get me to the grocery store or to doctor's appointments or anything like that. So it was a tough road.
Being the daughter of a teen mother affected everything growing up. Financially, we had very little money, so we were, living a very modest and sometimes very poor life at the end of the month. We didn't have clothes that everyone else had. We didn't have the house that everyone else had. I think the hardest, most difficult aspect of being the daughter of a teen mom was the instability. There was a ton of instability around me growing up. My mother she wasn't emotionally prepared to have a child, that my parents were forced to get married, their relationship wasn't stable, our financial situation wasn't stable, so there was never any stability. There was always this, you would go to bed at night and you would pray that the next morning would be okay, that you'd be able to get to school, that you'd have a lunch to eat, that you'd have breakfast, something you could grab, that I could get my brother and I out of the house and go to school and really have some sort of stability in our life, because when we came home, you just never know. You never knew what was going to happen.
It's a conversation I've always sort of avoided with her because I never wanted her to feel that she was unwanted or that I didn't want her. So it's such a weird thing, that there's both things. There's this fear and there's shame and regret and, all of that. But then there's just more love than you can even describe in words. And they're both happening at the same time. I wish I knew that I was inherently valuable. I wish I knew that that I was lovable, that I was a person of value, and I think that would have changed everything.
I just wish that there was more support, that I wouldn't have been so timid to talk to other people and maybe found somebody, some adult, that was able to talk to me.
Pregnancy and delaying pregnancy, I was 30 when I got pregnant. It was certainly something that I planned. I structured my life completely different than my mother structured her life. I had everything I wanted in place before I had a child. I had a strong marriage. I had a great job. When you can have this child enter this child into your life, you don't have to worry about the things that you can control, like financial, social, employment issues. And if you have all of those settled, you have the opportunity of really raising a child that you desire and love and can give them the things that they deserve as a child. And you're not going to have that at 16. You're not going to have that at 15.
Have a life of your own. You're going to be dedicated, hopefully, to that little person that you've brought into the world.